Welcome back to Sip the Telefams. I'm your host, Coach Evans. And today, tomorrow is Christmas. So Merry Christmas to y'all. Hope everybody gets what they need, what they want. All prayers are answered. And anything that you desire in this Christmas season, I hope you get it. And before we even get started, we know what the real reason for the season is. So thank you for the ultimate sacrifice for all of us to even be here and do what we do and forgive us when we make mistakes. So not getting into that, but you guys know where I'm going. And so I'm blessed for what I've been throughout life and happy and thankful. But getting to this Baltimore Ravens, Houston Texans preview, which is coming up tomorrow on Christmas Day in NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, on Netflix. But if you don't know, if you're in the Baltimore or the Houston market, it should be on your local channel. I read that somewhere that they have to provide that for local media or the local area. So I think if you're in the Baltimore or the Houston market, this game should be on TV somewhere for you. But other than that, everybody else, Netflix. So let's get into the preview. And this won't be a long, lengthy one. Just something to kind of give you some numbers based off of, because week 16 just ended yesterday. And so I normally give you these on Saturday morning. It's Tuesday morning. But let's start off with where we rank, since we had to wait on that Monday night game to do this to see while the numbers go. The Baltimore Ravens are the number one offense as for yardage with 423.7. And the Houston Texans are 20th with 323.3. Moving into passing yards, Baltimore Ravens are 5th with 242.5 passing yards per game, whereas the Houston Texans are 18th with 213.7 yards per game. Rushing wise, we are the number 2 rushing team with 181.2 yards per game, and they are 18th with 109.6 yards per game. And as far as points per game, we are 3rd with 30.1, and they are 13th with 23.1. Now, with that being said, even though on paper our offense is very explosive, their offense is very explosive as well. It hadn't been as consistent as ours, but let's not disregard the numbers and figure out and assume that because their numbers are ranked lower than ours that it's going to be a blowout. But it's not. Again, short week, holidays, on the road, anything can happen. Let's go to the defensive side. Total yards defense-wise, the Houston Texans are 4th with 307.3 yards per game. And with Baltimore Ravens, we're 16th, so we're slowly easing up in total defense. Slowly easing up in total defense. We are 338 yards per game, 16th. Passing yards per game, we're still in that 31st spot, but the number is steady going down. We are 31st with 254.9 yards per game, and they're 7th with just over 200 yards per game. Now, they do a good job of defending the pass, and we'll talk about a few of those guys, one of those guys instinctively a little bit later. Rushing yards. Y'all know we're the number 1 rushing team still. Only giving up 83.1 yards per game, and they're 11th, giving up 106.8 yards per game. As far as points per game defensively, they're 9th with 21.8, and we're 20th with 23.3. So the defensive numbers, even though that passing number is not as good as we want it to be, it's still, the number itself is moving down. The ranking is not moving too much, but the number itself is moving down. And y'all heard me say a bunch of times, about 5 or 6 weeks ago, that number was 299. Today it's 254, and we're not 32, we're 31, and we're a couple of yards, maybe not even a whole yard behind the 30th team, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that defensive ranking is steady moving up. And again, I posted the stat last week about how we were from week 10 on. We're still one of the best defenses in the NFL since week 10. Now, you had to throw that since week 10 in because weeks 1 through 9 count too. But let's talk about some individual guys here in a second. All right, let's compare the offensive numbers of Lamar Jackson and C.J. Stroud for 2024 only. Not that's the total only. Both have played in all 15 games. Lamar's completion percentage is better at 67.9. Lamar has more passing yards at 3,787. Yards per game, Lamar has more at yards per attempt, 8.9. CJ is not bad though. 63.2% completion percentage, 3,492 yards, 7.1 yards per attempt. Passing yards per game, Lamar has that advantage as well, 252 to 232. Passing TDs, Lamar has 37. If you saw the video earlier, you know that. To CJ Stroud's 19. Stroud has 11 interceptions. Lamar has 4. Lamar has an astronomical QB rating of 120.6. CJ is only 87.7. Rushing attempts, Lamar blows it out the water. CJ has 226 rushing yards to Lamar's 765. And I think he needs 50 or 60 more to break Mike Vick's record. Don't really care if he gets it or not, but just throwing it out there. And Lamar also has 3 rushing touchdowns. Let's go to the running backs. Compare the running backs. Now, they picked up Joe Mixon in the offseason, which I think was a huge pickup for them. Mixon's only played in 12 games, so keep that in mind when you compare him to Derrick Henry's numbers. And Derrick Henry is number 2 in the league in rushing behind Saquon, who has the opportunity to break Eric Dickerson's record depending on how they played these last 2 weeks. But rushing attempts, Derrick Henry has 278, Mixon 231 yards. Joe Mixon is just under 1,000 at 967. Derrick Henry is 1,636. 1,636, the number 2 rusher in the league. Again, 5.9 yards per carry for Derrick Henry, 4.2 for Mixon. Mixon has 11 touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns. Derrick Henry has 13, so he's right on his heels with that. Mixon has also caught 33 balls out of the backfield for 251 yards and 1 touchdown. Derrick Henry has only caught 15 and has 2 touchdowns as well. As far as the number 1 receiver, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in just a second, but Nico Collins only played in 10 games. Again, was hurt at the beginning of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And Zay Flowers, who's played in all 15, so keep that in mind. Nico has 60 catches in 10 games. Zay has 71 in 15 games. Nico Collins has 909 yards in 10 games. Zay has 1,016. So Zay finally reached, well, not finally, this is his second year, reached the 1,000-yard mark this year in his second year in the NFL. Nico, 15.2 yards per catch. Zay, 14.3. Nico, 6 touchdowns in 10 games. Zay, 4 touchdowns in 15 games. Zay also has some rushing attempts, 8 for 47, but mostly jet sweeps and stuff like that. So speaking on the receiver room, Tank Dell, he just can't get right. Broke his tibia or fibula or something last year. Rehabbed that, got right. Got shot before the season started. Rehab, got that right. Now he just tore his knee up completely. And from what I'm hearing, it was a gruesome looking spectacle. I'm fortunate enough that I did not see it. Didn't want to see it. But fortunately enough, I did not see it. So shout out to Tank Dell, prayers, speed recovery. But they signed Deontay Johnson. Well, they didn't sign. They claimed Deontay Johnson from waivers yesterday. I'm really sure he's not going to play other than add insight to what Baltimore is trying to do. If he plays, it will shock the heck out of me. But he's probably going straight to the defensive room, in my opinion. But we picked up Steven Sims off their practice squad. So, touche, Texans. You get some information on us, we're going to get some information on you. Dynamite move in my eyes, just to swap information. Okay, you're going to get Deontay to give you some insight of what we do offensively. We're going to get Steven Sims to get some insight on what you're going to do offensively. So, great chess match before the game even started by both parties. I want to talk about their defense for a minute, too. Defensively, they got 2 guys that have over 10 sacks already. And we were approaching that, but we don't have it. Van Noy, 10.5. Owe, I think, still at 8.5. So we're approaching guys to get 2 guys that have 10-plus sacks, but they already have them. And our tackles will have their hands full with these guys. Now, running the ball up the middle, I think we can do. And they're very good on the back end, too. Stingley, we know, is one of the best guys to do it. So we have to be mindful of where he is and who he's on. But across the board, I don't think they have enough guys to slow us down if they stop us from running. And the key word is if they stop us from running. Now, if we get in those third and long, second and long situations and we let those defensive ends go to work, I think that could be a problem. But as long as we stay in front of the chains and feature Henry early, similar to what we did versus the Steelers, I think we should be good. We should neutralize those pass rushers as well as throw some screens and stuff out there too. Now, what we will know, or what we will see is, I think we'll get a healthy dose of Keaton Mitchell tomorrow, especially with Justice Hill being a concussion protocol, Rasheen Ali being a rookie. I think, and Derrick Henry give you about three, four good snaps, and he got to get out of there for a play or two. So I think we'll get to see a good, healthy dose of Keaton Mitchell tomorrow, and maybe get some explosive runs out of him. And Rasheen Ali didn't look bad in his one carry, but give me Keaton, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all feel like that as well. And I'll just go into how I think we can win the game, and I'll end it here. And I started with it offensively already. Defensively, mix up the looks. Find Nico every play. Find Nico every play. And it still starts with stopping the run. You can't let Joe Mixon go crazy running the ball. But you also, when you defend Joe Mixon, you have to worry about him catching the ball as well. And we are very familiar with Joe Mixon and his skill set. So know Joe Mixon is an important cog in what they do. Nico's that guy. Give CJ different looks and just go crazy on that D line, man. Travis needs to go crazy. The highest paid, and this is a shout out to you, Killer Cam. The highest paid D tackle needs to go crazy, and they just need to get busy on that interior, man. Need to get busy on that interior, and hopefully, we can get some pressure to make CJ get off his spot. But if you let him sit down in his spot, he can pick you apart no matter what receivers go out there. So, and get to my prediction. Christmas Day, Beyonce at halftime, me in the building. I was pretty close last week. I said 31-17 last week. It ended up being 34-17. I'm going to go 37-24 Ravens. 37-24 Ravens. They get some plays, and I think it's a nip and tuck game up until about middle of the third quarter, and we start to pull away. That's why I'm going 37-24 Baltimore Ravens over the Houston Texans. So again, I appreciate you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Merry Christmas to all. Hope everything in your households are as well as they can be. And I thank y'all for everything y'all have done for the channel, I thank y'all for everything y'all have done for the channel in 2024. Looking forward to bigger and better things in 2025, man. So, again, I appreciate all you guys. Everybody that's a member. Got some content coming for you guys as with my trip to the game. So, that'll be members only, kind of like a vlog for the game. And so that'll be for the members and the Patreons, the members and the Patreons. And that's what I got for y'all, man. Again, Ravens 34-37, Texans 24. Ravens 37, Texans 24. I appreciate y'all, man. Peace. Merry Christmas. Tell somebody you love them.